Hey, what's up? What's going on, guys? So I know it's been a long time since I've posted anything on this YouTube channel, but what I got right now, it's some basic content, but it's something to upload. I'm gonna try to keep this going more frequent. On the Eclipse, I will get back to it. I've just been delayed with some things, so I will get back to that. So please stay tuned. I know I've said that for quite some time. But right now what I am working on is a Toyota, the front bumper. I want to say it's a Camry, I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to double check on the car, but it kind of hit something on the front. I'll go ahead and show y'all a clip of that. So as you can see, it kind of hit something. The whole paint chipped off from this area. These are just scrapes right here, as well as at the bottom. And then right here, if you catch at the right angle, you see it has a dent. This whole thing, I'm sorry, actually was dented in, but I was able to just push it out from inside out, and got the majority of the damage out, but we still have this ding, which I'm gonna go ahead and hit with the heat gun, or I might just have to apply some fiberglass resin, fill that in. But this side will get repainted, and thankfully we will be able to just do a blend from maybe like right here to this area with the clear coat. So y'all guys stay tuned for that. This is the bottom of the bumper, which is not noticeable. And the customer did notify me that their main focus was just fixing this upper area up. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all a little bit of the process of how I get this done. So please, I hope y'all guys enjoy. Okay guys, so normally I would disassemble the whole bumper and then get started on it as far as wet sanding, but the grill and the fog lights actually help the bumper kind of stay structured and still. Sorry about that. It actually helps it stay structured and still, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave those parts on while I wet sand it, just to get the surface smooth. I am gonna go ahead and also sand the area with the dent, which is around right here. You can kind of see it, and I'll go ahead and time lapse that for you guys. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got everything wet sanded. I am gonna go ahead and have to do a little bit more rougher sanding on that area so that I can start touching it up with the fiberglass resin and jelly, the fiberglass jelly. And as you can see, I smoothed out the hit so that it's nice and even. Just go ahead and throw some primer over that, wet sand, and throw the paint. Same with these little edges right here where it had some scuffs. And as well with this area here, and it has some scuffs along this edge as well. So I sanded those down smooth right here and here, so that whenever the paint lays over, there's no rough texture that's showing. Again, this is the bottom of the bumper, which is kind of inevitable to not scrape. As you can tell, with the way this car is so low, it's gonna have a couple, hits like that. But if you are looking at it from the top, it's not even that noticeable, so we are fine with those. The next step here is going to be to go ahead and wash this and let it dry. Make sure I did not miss any spots. And once that is, once I'm sure that that has been properly sanded, I'll go ahead and fix this. Once that's fixed, we're going to take off the light. Okay guys, so I went ahead and got some 80 grit sandpaper, and I am gonna go ahead and scuff this area a little bit more. I do see that there's a small crack, so we're gonna go ahead and repair that and throw in the fiberglass jelly after it's sanded. All right, it's a little bit rough to tell, but I don't have to scuff it too hard, just enough so that it's scuffed and the body filler that we'll use will actually stick to it. And this looks pretty good, so I'm gonna go ahead and wax and grease remove this area and then start applying my filler. Alright guys, so normally I wouldn't put the tape around the area that I'm working on because you don't want to create like a ridge, but because it's white, it's kind of hard to tell what's sanded and what's not. So I just did that to help me focus on only the area that I need to be applying the body filler. And this extra piece right here is so that it will not get on the fog light. Okay guys, so that laid down fairly smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and let that layer dry and do some sanding, and if it needs a little bit more refilling, then we'll go ahead and touch it up. Okay, so I ended up applying an additional layer and spread it out a little bit more so that I can smooth it, so I can sand it smooth, I'm sorry, and that you don't feel any ridges at the end. Again, most of this won't be there. I just kind of over applied it, a little bit stretched out, so that when I sand it again, it just feels smooth and goes with the bumper and you can't feel the difference. So I'm gonna go ahead and start sanding it again. Alright guys, so I've pretty much finished with the bodywork here. What I did was apply some spot putty to fill in some of the little holes that it still had. There are still some minor little holes, but the primer, I'm sorry, will take care of that. So right now the next step is I'm gonna remove the fog light so that masking is easier, and then just go ahead and start priming up this area right here. Once it's primed and dried, go ahead and wet sand it and prep it for paint. Okay, so I went ahead and remove, I went ahead and remove the fog light, but I went and put the bolts back, just so it's easier to know where they came from. I like to stay organized, or at least I try to. Now we're gonna go ahead and mask around that area right there. So we are using the TranStar primer. It's a 2-in-1, so it actually fills in, and it's easy to spray and sand, and it's very reliable. Okay guys, so y'all can actually learn from my mistake here. You see how I left that ridge? You want to try to avoid doing that just because it requires more sanding to level it out. It's nothing that can't be fixed, so it's not that bad, but just it kind of creates extra work for you. So if you can avoid that, I would suggest that you do avoid it. Alright, but I'm just let that primer set up a little bit more, and then we'll start wet sanding the surface and prepping it for paint. Alright guys, so I went ahead and wet sanded the primer. As you can tell, it just kind of looks like a little stain, so to speak, but it doesn't have the ridges anymore. I got rid of them. So now the next step is going to be to mask it off. I won't necessarily disassemble the whole bumper. I'll just go ahead and mask all of this off right here, and I believe right here is the last part I'm gonna expose, and I'll just kind of overspray. I scuffed it, and I'll just sand and buff it to blend it nice and smooth from this area. But I will only repaint this area and reapply the clear coat on this part of the bumper. Alright guys, so I'll go ahead and resume y'all as soon as I have it masked. Alright guys, excuse the messy table and everything. This is just kind of where I do all my paint, so it sometimes spills. But I cleaned the gun. It's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and measure this out. It is a 1-to-1, so I got 2 there. About to throw in my reducer and hit it with the second layer. I will not film the actual spraying because I do notice that it kind of clogs my camera with overspray. So I'll just show y'all the after result of base coat and the after result of the clear, and then the result of once it's all done and put back on the car. Alright guys, so right now it looks like this, and next it looks like, alright guys, and now it looks like this. Nice base coat. I went ahead and put 2 coats. Looks like it covered everything pretty well. I am letting it bake on the sun for just a bit. As soon as it dries up enough to have clear coat thrown on it, I'll drag it back into the shop and throw the clear coat. So stay tuned for that. And guys, this is it with the final coat of clear. I kind of use that, sorry, as a guide mark as to where to overlay, so that's why I left it like that. Again, it's not visible, so not too worried about that. But check it out, guys. That shine is, it's amazing. The clear laid really smooth. I'm gonna go ahead and just let it sit out here in the sun for a good while to bait. Okay, so the fog light is on. Everything looks great. Turned out amazing. So now I'm gonna go ahead and install it back on the car off camera and show you what it looks like all complete. All right, guys, so the bumper is installed. Looks great, looks amazing, but everything turned out so well. You can't even notice. I mean, this thing just looks in amazing condition. So guys, that was pretty much it on that Toyota. It was a Camry after all. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. Let me know down below if it's something y'all would be more interested in watching. Just simple little fixes like that, nothing too major. Again, updates on the Eclipse, I will be working on it. The thing is I did lose the key to the car, so I'm kind of in a predicament where I have to get new keys. It's been sitting out in the sun, so now it's new tires. And they're just things that kind of been piling up on me, and I haven't been able to get to it, but soon I will, so please stay tuned. Don't think that I give up on that project. The car is still sitting in the garage. So as soon as I can get some updates on that, I'll go ahead and put progress videos, even if it just means like small 5-7 minute clips. I will try to keep my videos short, not too long, but we'll see what happens. But thank you guys for tuning in, and hopefully I can post something up fairly soon.